Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Thoughts While Drawing. That sounded so TV announcery, but whatever. So today I'm working on a drawing that I started I think a couple weeks ago, and I haven't really gotten to pick it up since then, so I'm adding ink to it today. Very excited about that. I think I might actually be able to finish it today because I have way more time than normal to sit and draw uninterrupted. So today I wanted to talk about the question that I get the most when I am at a show or when I'm working events, like when people are viewing my work. And that question is, what inspired this? And sometimes they're asking about a specific image, and sometimes they're just asking about overall work, what space I'm in when I'm creating. And even though I've answered that question to myself a lot, it's still kind of hard to answer because there's not ever just one feeling that anyone has when they're making something or one idea, right? So I wanted to talk about exercises that I've been doing to help me feel prepared when I get that question and not look like a deer in headlights as much or for as long. So the first thing that I've been doing is journaling. And I know I mentioned journaling in the past couple videos now, and I just did a whole video about it, but it really, really helps with gathering your thoughts, obviously, and writing them down helps me keep them fresh and remember them. So if someone says, hey, what inspired this? And I've journaled through my process of what inspired it, it's easier for me to recall and answer that question. So again, I really advocate journaling, artist or not. It's a great exercise. Keeps your brain strong, or it keeps my brain stronger anyway. The second thing that I've been doing to help me answer that question and also help me kind of be able to talk about it in general is writing practice artist biographies. So I've written a few artist statements over the years, but as I've grown and my style has evolved, things that I wrote about what inspired my work in 2000, what year is it? In 2014 or something, when I wrote my first one for school, it was around that year. It's changed a lot since then. I would have to dig that up because I don't even remember what it says, but I think I've been trying to maybe every couple months, every 6 months, whatever feels right, just kind of sit down and detail my artistic journey and what brought me to the work that I'm making now. And I try to write it in a way that's succinct but still gives a viewer who has no idea who I am or has never seen my work before, gives them a pretty clear idea of what motivated the work. My goal for my work in general is for people to be able to relate to it and connect. So I also want an artist statement or artist biography to feel that same way. I want anyone who just happens to walk in and see it displayed somewhere to be able to read it and relate to it and not feel oh, well, this isn't my style, so I don't get what she's talking about. And I say that because sometimes I'll be reading any kind of introduction or paper, and it's written in such a way with the jargon specific to that world that I'm ooh, maybe this isn't for me, I don't get it. And I don't want my art to feel that way. So writing these practice artist statements and biographies is really helpful in keeping that tone, and also it comes in handy when I do decide to apply to a show or a gallery, or if someone asks can you send me an artist statement, I have one on hand and I just have to make a few edits and send it. That's 2 pros for that right there. The third thing that I do, I just started doing this recently, is asking friends and family what comes to mind for them when they see my work. I asked 5 or 6 different people, and they all kind of gave me very similar answers. And that was super exciting because I know that I have kind of a theme to my work and style, but I wasn't sure if that was carrying over consistently to viewers. And I was actually like, why didn't I start doing this sooner? Because knowing that all these people who are very different like are all looking at my work and taking like the same kind of themes from it is really cool. So I would definitely recommend, you know, if you're an artist of any sort, kind of like asking your friends and whomever you're close to, like, hey, what do you think about my work? Like, what themes do you see? It really helps you when a stranger asks you, like, what is the inspiration behind this work? You can kind of draw on what other people have said and what you feel like when you're making your work, and that can come together to form a sentence which answers the question. And the fourth thing I'll say is to really know your audience when you're answering the question. Some people want like the deep lore of what inspired your work. Like they want to hear about like how you got started and all the different thoughts that you had that led to the moment that created this piece or this series. And you know, some people, they just want like the really quick, easy synopsis of it. And you kind of will get a feeling for how much they want to hear and how attentive they are and involved when they ask you. Like I'm not obviously a scientist at reading body language, but in my experience, people who are like making eye contact and really involved while they're asking like what inspired this, those are the people who want to hear like all the backstory. And people who are kind of like, you know, they're doing other things, they're browsing through the work, when they ask, they might just want like the shorter answer. So it's helpful to have like, it's really helpful to kind of pick up on how much they might actually want to hear, because if someone who's not interested in all the lore asks and you start giving them every detail, you'll kind of see them start to like zone out. And the last thing you want is for them to think like, ugh, this isn't for me. That's like a lot of information and I'm already bored. Like you don't want them to associate that feeling with your work. So try to get used to, I guess, noticing the signs of like really listening to what they're asking and how, and that can help you answer the question too. I hope that made sense. It makes sense in my head. Those are my thoughts on how to answer that question. The question being, what inspires your work? I hear other artists being asked it a lot, and I'm asked it a lot, and I don't think people always realize what a big question it is. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other suggestions or other methods for finding your own answer to that question, I'd love to hear it. Please like the video, subscribe, tell your friends about me and my channel. It helps a lot. I would really like to get to, I think it's 100 subscribers, so that I can customize my link instead of having 400 letters behind it. So if you know people who you think could connect with this channel, it would be great for you to tell them about me. And thank you so much for watching. I can't remember if I said that already. And I hope you have a great week.